Will share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
I'll share again.
Yeah, now you should be able to share. Yeah, screen is visible, Krishna.
Okay. Okay. First of all, thanks for joining. And I think you already know me for last two sessions. If someone new joined, myself, Muthu Krishna, and then I'm an RPA lead from L&T Technologies, Technology and Services, and I have an experience of over 6 years. So in the past two sessions, we got to know what is AI, RPA, and then generative AI. And then we also saw simple agents from UiPath Agent Builder. Today, we'll build a complete an end-to-end agent and how we use that agent, and then how do you think of an idea to submit in Agent Hack India. So with that, let's get started. So first of all, this will be our first agentic automation process, auto resume classifier. So basically what it does, so what is my use case? So we'll have, if you are attending interviews, you'll already know by now. So whenever you send a resume to any company via LinkedIn or any other job portal, so first thing what they do is they'll pick your resume, they'll check they'll have their own job description for their requirement. They'll read the entire resume. They'll compare if their job description or their requirement is meeting your resume or not. If it is meeting, then they'll forward this resume to next level, which will be an interview or whatever level it will be. So for the first level screening, let's say you can see in LinkedIn, if there is a job, there will be more than 100 or sometimes more than 1,000 job applicants applying for that. So that is my main problem now. So this is my problem, and then for that I'm trying to build an agentic automation. So that will be our today's session on. We'll see how we build it. Before that, to just a um, simple overview or the simple thing which I would like to tell is like about how you can think about a use case. So if you want to submit as a student, how do you have to think for all these things? The first 4 or 5 questions will be like, who is the user? First question will be, who is the user? So for your agentic automation, you should ask like who will be the user, and then what's the task, then why is it painful, or how huge that automation is. So it's called, so is it painful, and then how can an AI agent help? So when you think of an idea or when you think of a use case that you want to build using Agent Hack, you should have these questions in mind so that like your solution will be a proper one, like a really useful one. For a simple solution, let's say I want to read something from a document. I don't need UiPath, or I don't need UiPath agent to do all this. It's a simple task. You can just use a read PDF activity, or you can use a simple activity to do the same task. I don't need an agent for that. So you need to understand the problem exactly, and then you should solve that problem by your agent. So this will be the first. I mean, few things which I think you might think when you think of an use case. Okay, so with that, few simple ideas. These are just to give you an idea like how in use case will be. First one, resume, and then as I mentioned, resume and job preparation agent that we will build, and then we'll see. Second one can be a student handbook assistant. Student handbook assistant. So what does it basically do? So let's say your college will have a specific policies, right, which will be specific to your college. And let's say you want to know a rule, so you cannot go ask HOD or someone for every simple things, right? So what you'll do, you will provide your college policies as a context to agent, and then this you'll build an agent upon that, and then you make a chatbot kind of thing where you ask the agent like, let's say, what's the CGPA rule for placement, or how much should be, how much is the pass percentage to apply for a particular department, or I need to join some department. What is the rule? So those questions can be your questions, and then agent can, uh, in general, it can use LLM capabilities to understand the documents, and then you can provide your college specific documents to create that. That can be your second idea of building an agent. So that can be one idea. And so while building, I think you will get to know, we even we have an idea of last two sessions, like what are tools that are already available from UiPath. So you can, if you have any questions, you can go through them. So this is basically the ideation part. Let's move them. Let's get into our use case. Okay. So to start my use case, or if you are starting with your use case, always start with simple steps. Like write all your build down the sub steps for this one, and then make a good note or make a good document outfit, and then start your agent creation. So first of all, so to classify, to what will be my input? My input will be a resume. For now, I'm keeping it as PDF document. So this will be my resume. Once I get a resume, in general, what manually we do. So we get a resume, we read that resume, read that resume's text, and then we'll have our own requirement document. We compare this text with that requirement document. If it is matching, not completely matching, if it is like, we'll have a certain score, like if it is matching more than 80% or 90%, then we'll consider that as that resume as a qualified resume, right? So we compare, read the text from PDF, compare the text with our JD. If it is matching, then we consider the resume. If not, we'll directly mention like, we'll directly mention not not qualified or something. So this will be our uh, overall what we need to do, what we do for this use case, right? So with that, so let's go to your path. So firstly, as we mentioned here, we need to create a context for that, right? So context is nothing but our JD requirement. So we'll first create a context for our requirement, and then we need a system prompt and then user prompt for that agent, and then we'll start with agent creation. Once we once we're done with our agent, we'll quickly test it, and then we deploy it. After deploying, we need to know where to use this agent, right? We cannot directly keep agent as a chatbot and then you cannot interact. So this agent has to be deployed into some platform, and then there you need to be able to consume that agent, right? So in today's example, we are using Studio Web as our platform where we consume that agent. So we'll see how do you consume an agent from Studio Web, and then basically in Studio Web, we'll create an RPA workflow to consume this agent, and then we'll test, and then we'll see how the agent replies. So let's start with the context creation. So I've already created a context. So let's say this is a simple JSON which I've created. So for job description, for RPA job description, skills required. So I need UiPath, and then level should be expert, and then how much. This level property have 30% of weight. So orchestrator, and then for this orchestrator skill, it have a 15% weightage. So this you can build, or you can for your use case, if you don't have a context, you can build by yourself, or you can ask ChatGPT to build context for your case. So this is my context. So as we know, if we want to involve a context to our agent, we need to go to indexes, right? So this will be our orchestrator. From here, we need to go to agents. So we'll start building our agent. Here we'll build a solution. I will directly build an agent in the old version itself. So click on a new agent. So this is the old way. So now you can, for you, it will be you can build the agent in Studio Web also. Basically, these both are same. So okay. So as I mentioned, firstly we need to have a context. So which is my context? So this is my context. So out of this, I have a JSON created already. So I uploaded this here. I've created a storage bucket. If you're already there in my last session, I explained like what is a storage bucket. In simple words, it's kind of a DB. So you create a storage bucket for resume. For my use case, that will be resume context. This is the assume it is a DB name. So this resume.json is my context. So this resume.json is nothing but this one. So basically, the skills that are required, how much weight this each skill carries. So these are few of the examples. Like for example, this is my first resume. For UiPath, she's an expert, orchestrator basic, and then experience 3.5. And second one, this is my second example. So this is my basic context for that. So I upload it to my storage bucket, right? So for this, you need to create an index. In last session, we also saw how to create an index. So you just go to indexes, you click on add index, you name it, keep the storage bucket name, and then set a folder, and then you select the storage bucket. So this is my resume context. So the same steps I already did, and then I've created an index here. So this is my index. So index is nothing but like you have your own DB, and then inside that you have your own context, right? So with index, you'll just make a link, and then you make a link available so that like you can use that within your agent. Okay. Let's build our first agent. Let's name it resume classifier, and then quickly describe what the purpose of the agent. It can be a simple description. And for system prompt and user prompt, as I mentioned, you can use ChatGPT, or else you need to clearly mention so what and all this agent has to do. So I've already built this also. I'll just open the existing one itself. This one. Make a big screen. Okay. So firstly, we edited the name, and then we described the purpose of the agent. This agent is to classify input the given resume, something like that. So this will be a quick line for how do you describe your agent. And this is my system prompt. So I clearly mentioned like you are specialized HR agent for RPA hiring. So this agent is specifically for RPA. In general, you can remove RPA and then keep it as a general agent also to classify overall resumes. So for me, I'm building only for classify RPA related resumes. So for that, I mentioned like RPA hiring. And then the agent's job is to assess a resume, compare it with the job context stored in memory. So what does this mean? So we have a job description available in our storage bucket, right? So it will compare that resume text with this the JD job descriptions text, and then it will tell if it is suitable or not. So I specifically mentioned like job role details are stored in resume context, which is this one. So this prompting is very important because if you don't mention that that you have to look into context, it may not look into the context. So the system prompt is like what basically, if you want to build an agent, the system prompt will be like the exact roles and responsibilities of that agent. So, and so that will be its first description of that agent. And then second part is to format the output. So I need the output in I need first a summary of that candidate profile. I need to know if the resume is matching the skills, experience, and then domain, and then a recommendation. So if that candidate is suitable or in borderline or not at all suitable. So I need to know this part, and then uh, by after it will tell, like, let's say suitable. I need to know the exact explanation, like why this resume is a suitable one or why this candidate is not suitable. So I need a brief explanation, right? So that will be the reasoning part. So I gave a specific format. So when I run the agent, I'll get in a specific format. The output will be in a specific format so that I can use that output in later part. So I also mentioned the unclear part. Let's say you only use the information provided. If data is missing, mention it clearly. So why did I mention this? So let's say if I don't mention this prompt in my system prompt section. So if I give a description, a resume's description, it will pre-assume few things, and then it will add few things to that. It'll work like a general bot. It will not work like a specific this resume related information. It may we call it as like hallucination. So it may go out of what we required. So that's why we specifically need to mention the boundary to your agent, like where to stop and when to not process, when to throw an exception. So that part also you need to clearly mention. That's why I mentioned use only the provided information. If anything is not clear, just mention it. So if I mention this, if I give, if it is not a resume text, if I give like a definition of what is RPA, if I tell what is RPA here, it will tell your information is missing. You have to provide resume related information. So mention it clearly. So it will mention it will mention that exception clearly to us. Next, the user prompt. So how am I going to give the text? So I'm going to give directly the resume text. So this prompt, in general, for ChatGPT, will give a prompt, right? So we can avoid that. We can directly make it a default. You can use that default prompt in your user prompt, and then only the input you can pass. So in my case, resume text is my input. So this is the extracted data from resume. So that I'm passing as an input argument, right? So this resume text is nothing but an input argument, which I created here. Resume text, and I passed here. So I told, like, I will get the following resume for the role of UiPath RPA developer of experience in automation, strong UiPath skills, knowledge of RE framework, exposure to orchestration and document understanding. So this can be anything. If you are hiring for Java, it can be specific to Java. So that's my resume text. So in case if I want to run a UiPath in between, if I want to run a tool, any tool in between, like web search, or if I want to include one more automation, I can do that here. For me, for now, we don't need any because it's a direct resume text. We read the PDF and these steps we do in StudioWeb. So agent is just need we're using agent to just classify the resume text if it is matching or not, right? So next, the context part. So here we created the context, right? Resume context. This is the storage bucket and access. This is my uh, link to this context. So using this, I have to use this link in my agent. So just need to click on add context, describe it, choose the folder where you created the context. So I've created under shared, right? So shared, and then ECS index is nothing but your context, resume text. So I've did that here already. So I'll remove the second time. Okay. So now we got the context as well. And in case if you want to escalate, like if anything happened, if it is not able to extract, or if it's not able to classify properly based on your given text, you can write one more step. Like if you don't have any proper information, escalate it to human user, and then I can add my escalation here. So I'll remove this. So this is my resume. So for now, you cannot pass documents directly to your agent. It will take text as an input for now. So that's why you need to read this PDF you'll get the text, and then you can pass that text to your agent, and then it can classify. So I have a Node document also. This is my Word document. For testing, I'll just copy this resume as text, and then I'll give it as an input here. So click on that. So since I mentioned that you need to check the context, so it involved the context now. And then end of execution. Here you can see the output. So in this format, right? So first part, summary of the candidate of the profile. So the candidate is certified RPA developer with expertise in UiPath automation anywhere and Power Automate. They have experience. So from this document which I gave, it created a quick summary, which is this one, and then job requirements. So in my context, I have specific skills for RPA, right? If you remember, so this is my context, right? So there are specific skills. So it will match with that context. So it says like it matches well with UiPath expert. For UiPath, it matches well with UiPath expert level, which is weight of 30%. And then it also says like relevant experience in automation and process improvement. And then the rest of the other requirements are also getting matched. And then recommendation. So with all these weights, it calculated, and then it is saying that this candidate is suitable for the next round. And then the reasoning. So why it is suitable? The candidate meets the requirements of role, include strong UiPath skills, RE framework knowledge, orchestrator, DU, and their certifications and professional experience. So because of this, the candidate is suitable. So I got this output in a proper format, as I mentioned here. Right. So now our agent is working. Quickly check the health. It will take some time. It says 38 because I didn't have enough tools. I didn't have enough evolution. I mean, testing cases I didn't have, right? So in real cases, you may create the test cases also here, and then your test agent before publishing it. So that's our first part. So we created our context. We added system prompt, and then we added user prompt also. With that, we created our agent. We tested with one sample resume. Now the next step is to deploy this agent, right? Let's get back and then publish. The three options. If you want to interact with your agent in a chatbot kind of thing, you can deploy it to autopilot feed. Personal workspace and tenant work process are like the two different options that we currently have. Like tenant will go as a global process package. Personal workspace will go to your personal workspace. So always prefer to, unless you have a specific constraint, always prefer to deploy it to tenant process feed so that like it will appear here. It will appear here. So I already published this agent, which you can see here 4 hours ago. So if I upload, if I publish one more a new version, it'll just get updated. So if I just publish it, since I already published, it'll get the version only gets improved. It'll get the new version for this agent. Okay. So now we deployed our agent. So until here, the agent building part is completed. So next step is to consume that agent, consume the deployed agent in any of our required platform, right? So now let's go back to Studio Web. So if you click on grid, so this is Studio Web. Creating a new RPA workflow. I don't want to start any triggers. So if you want to make it even more dynamic, like you place a resume in your drive, and then the automation should automatically start. You can select the trigger also. Like you can keep drive, and then when a file created, if you choose this, it will keep on monitor this folder. When you place a resume, bot will automatically start, and then it will automatically do everything, and then at the end it will give you the output mentioning that this candidate is suitable or not. So for testing, now I'm just keeping the manual part. So now we are starting with RPA workflow, right? So we have our agent. So we have our agent. Now we want to consume that agent. So before that, we need to see how we are going to give our resume. So one thing, if you have a chatbot, you can directly upload a PDF to the chatbot and then you can ask, right? So, but in our case, we are using Web. So how do you do? So Studio Web, RPA workflow. So what I'm planning is to do is like I have my drive, Google Drive. So I'm going to place a PDF here. When I place a PDF and then when I run Studio Web, it has to check if there is any new file available in this resume classifiers folder. If there is any, it has to read that text and pass to that agent. So I'll place my this resume in Google Drive folder. Then check if there are any files available in that folder. Press pick and read text from PDF, right? So I have my uh, I've already created a folder resume must classify. This is my Google Drive, if you see. Then here I've placed a PDF, right? So let's get back to our workflows. The first step you do is to get files or folders from this folder, right? Search for get file. We have one activity which will get one item. So I'll use list items so that if there are more, then for this, if there are more also you can get. But anyway, I'm going to keep a limit of one. So for me, it directly created this, right? It directly took my connection. So in your case, you might not see this connection. So simply, let's take one more. So I'll just show you the connector part. I'll delete this connection and then I'll create it again. This activity also. Okay. Now I don't have any connection. So this is how it will look for you also. So if I want to use any, okay, it already. That's no connection. Go back and then refresh. Connection is not there, right? So now I'll delete load. We'll delete this. So now when I select get file or folder list, it will ask me to connect to Google Drive, right? You just have to click on connect. Choose your, just click on here, choose your Gmail account. Click on continue. Click on continue. And then that will load your integration. And that's it. So it established a connection to your drive. So here you need to select the folder. So I've created a resume classifier folder, right? So inside that I have my file. So click on this folder icon, go to my drive, just double click on it, and you will see different folders available. So this will be my folder. Just do a single click and then click on save. So this is the location. So if you have a file here, you need to get that location, right? And click on additional properties. I'll keep only one for now. You can leave it as it is. So you can loop for all PDFs. So this will be your in this G item, remote item, you will have your information. You'll have the information about this resume, like simply the path of this resume. Okay. You have the link, and now you need to loop, right? So one way is to select for each and then loop through those elements. If you don't want to do that, just select a log message, and then here just click on this. You see here, it automatically adds a for each. You have the for each, and then this will print the remote item. If you want to see the sub properties that are available, so now I'll have the link to this, but I need to know the name of this. I need to test my workflow, right? If it is reaching here or not. What do? You just click on it, and then you'll have all the variables that are created. As if you remember last session, we saw the data manager, right? This is where the variables that are there in your workflow will be showed here. So this is my file or folders, right? So go back, and then if you see here, it is very simple. I mean, if you want to name, you just select the name. That's it. It will automatically write the entire expression for you. You want to see what it wrote, you can click on expression editor, and here you can see first one was gitem, which will be your link, and then this will be your gitem.name, which will give the file name. Click on save, and then if you run the process now, you should be able to print this resume name. So you can see RPA resume. So I've mentioned the remote name also, right? So I'll remove that. I want to print this. Just want to write processing, and then the name. Click on save. Now let's run again. You can see it picked this file, which is RPA resume. It's nothing but a resume, an RPA developer's resume. So now we got the resume. We did until here. We need to read text from PDF and then pass that to agent, right? Let's do these two steps now. Let's get back to our Studio Web. Click on, so here until here we have the path, right? Click on add activity. You can use extract PDF text from document understanding. You can use extract PDF text. It will take some time to install the package, and it got installed. And then here into pass the file, right? Click on that, and then you will see all available variables. So we need to pass this remote item. Pass it, and then you can see additional properties. So output will be stored in this variable, extracted text, right? Now let's just print that text. Take a log message, and then so under extracted text, this will be my extracted text, right? Let's select it. It will write a variable. And now let's test again. And this is my extracted text from that resume. You can quickly compare. I open this PDF, keep side by side. This is my extracted PDF from that document, right? Okay. Now we have the text. We have the text from PDF, and we have to pass that to agent. We deployed an agent, right? While back, so we deployed an resume classifier agent. So now you need to invoke that agent in your Studio Web, right? Simply click on add an activity and then run agent. Search for an agent. We'll have this activity. Select it, and then I have deployed to shared folder, right? Select the folder, and then what is my deployed agent name? It's my resume classifier agent. Don't get confused with this process name. You can see in brackets here, like if it is an RPA process or an agent. So this is my agent. Select it. It automatically, if it is an agent, it automatically generates an input argument kind of thing. So you can see here, refresh arguments. And then if you remember here, when we built an agent, so we asked for an input text, right? The same argument here. So for this, what we need to pass? We need to pass extracted text. Extracted text. So if you see here, the output argument, we saw yesterday, right? An output argument will be automatically created, which will hold the agent's output in a string. You can, if you want to get an array, or you can, if you want to get a number, so that also you can choose. But by default, it is an output with string. So we'll get that text out. Let's click on save. So this is an input text that we're passing to resume text argument. Now, if you click on show additional properties, here you can see the output argument. How do you print that argument? Take a log message. So this is my run job thing, right? Run job activity, right? Click on here. From that run job, I need to print from output arguments. I need to print output, which is this one, right? So click on again run job under output arguments output. So that will print the output. Now let's test the agent. Click on that. So firstly, it printed the entire resume, and then now the agent is running, and then this is my agent's output, right? If I copy this to see it properly, so this was my agent's output, right? Firstly, it from that resume that we gave, it printed the resume's summary. It printed the matched requirements. It is saying it is suitable, and then why it is suitable, it is giving proper reasoning to that, right? So that's our so we invoked our agent also. So now what you'll do, you'll simply publish this studio web workflow. If you see here, this is my direct end-to-end workflow. So if I open this, and then if I remove manual trigger and then keep a trigger when a file uploaded to this folder, if I use that trigger, I just need to upload a file, and the flow will automatically run, and it will provide this output. So with this output, I can send an email or something. Like I can send an email using Gmail. Scroll down, and then you can see an option from directly connect to the Gmail. Give all permissions. That integration will load, and then here you can mention the email ID to whom you need to text send the email. I can mention the subject, and then you can pass this text. So the output is there, right? You can pass this text, and then you can attach this PDF. This PDF, this from this PDF, this candidate is suitable for a particular job or something. Quickly write. Click on save. Now it is wrong. You can just click on fix. It will fix it. Or else let's get the string format. It's my email ID. Can quickly mention the subject. Agent classifier agent. I can attach the attachment, which is from here. And then I can, for this one, I can keep body of an agent. That will be the output from an agent, right? So now let's click on test. Enter the text. I need to remove the characters now. And that might have already sent an email to me. So it wasn't done. So I've enabled it to save it as a draft. So it came to draft. So if I open here, it shows like this candidate is suitable. So I got that the entire information in my email itself, right? So I can later format also this text is completely into a single paragraph. So I can use or I can tell the agent to only give me recommendation like if it is suitable or not. If yes, give me reasoning, and then I can also tell agent to properly format in two paragraphs, and then that will already send it to my resume. So that will be an end-to-end solution, like where you just place an agent, place a resume in your folder, and automatically RPF workflow will start, which will invoke an agent. So it will invoke an agent, and then later it will classify, and then it will directly send it to send the output to your in your email box. So that will be our complete agent. Okay, so with that we can take questions now. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Guys, we are open for Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box. Or if you prefer to ask the questions, there is a function, there is a raise hand function you can use. We will unmute you and you can go ahead and ask the question. Feel free to use both the options. Krishna, I'll stop the recording.